Okay. This is the second video. I finished reading. Okay. I'm nervous again. The first one came out decently. I mean, the subtitles were dog shit. I was not planning. I mean, I was planning to record this like today, but I didn't like review any shit. I like right now I don't even remember like details about the story and shit. Okay, so also when I was rewatching the video, to upload it, I have a lot of how do I say that? Okay, see, my English is dodgy. Uh, 1 second. It's language biases. I guess language biases. I don't know. It's like I have some stuff I always say. Like use a lot. Okay. I use fuck a lot, shit and shit, something and shit. So yeah, so yeah, I also use a lot. Okay, so I saw that, and okay, today the main topic will be this book, Notes from Underground, from Fyodor Dostoevsky. This book is insane. It is amazing. I did a fucking gigantic kind of, not gigantic, but I took like 1 hour and a half like writing a review kind of the book. I mean, it's like a resume of the whole story, and it is awesome. I mean, I really enjoyed writing it. I got so fucking locked in doing that the in a way that I don't usually get with another stuff. So that was pretty cool. I got like fucked locked in that. I was like insanely in, you know. So I did this thing. I think I'll put in the description. I didn't organize it like I did it last time. There was like in topics and stuff I want to talk about. Now I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I have like the book in my front. I have like the review in my front, and you guys. So I don't know. I don't know how am I gonna do that. I think I'm gonna explain like the story of the book. Should I have thought about this before? Maybe not. I don't know. I just want to start at it because then I would like go to Notepad and like okay, then I'll talk this, and that, and I think I we lose a lot of shit like doing that. I like to also document my like train of thoughts, my like conscious flow. I mean that's kind of weird, but I like that. I guess I don't know if that's good, but I like it. I quite enjoy it. The last video was pretty fine. The Minecraft gameplay was okay, I guess. I don't know if I'm gonna still do Minecraft or other shit. I don't know. I don't know. I have to feel something. And I don't feel like showing my face. I feel awkward just by like recording my voice. Imagine like doing other shit. Okay, so I'm gonna like do a little. I have idea. I have a plan. I plan to like explain the story of the book. Then I will look into my paragraphs here in the review and see like if I said something relevant here, and also have the book in my front. So if if I need to go to somewhere, if I need to check something, I can. But that's the plan, and I'll say what I think about the parts of the books. Okay, we'll have spoilers. Okay, a fucking lot of spoilers, and you should read this book. This book's like 130 pages long. It is insane. This book is so fucking good in like all ways possible. Like this book is insane. Really, you guys should read it. Yeah, okay. This book, oh my god, it's so insane. It talks about like nihilism. It talks about science and positivism, kind of like positivism. Oh my god, and then about like pure evil and how some like being arrogant can distort your whole life and your whole concept of. It's so deep. Also, I saw a video of um I don't know how to pronounce unsolicited advice, which is a YouTube channel about philosophy and shit, this channel is really good. You guys should check it out. Okay, pretty good. One of the best channels I've discovered this year. Okay, so about the book. Okay, so this book's about a guy, and the first paragraph of this book is all already saying like it talks about like I'm a guy, I'm an evil man. Let me just give it a look. I mean, it's Portuguese, so I have to like translate it. But like the idea is, I am a sick guy. I'm an evil guy. I'm an awful guy. My liver is like dying. So and he like says all this shit, and he says like just in the beginning, like the first paragraph, it's really interesting because like we already face who he is. He says, "Okay, my liver is kind of dying. I'm feeling pain on it, but I know I should go to the doctors, but I won't. It's not why. It's not because like I don't trust medicine or anything like that. I just won't go there. Why? Because he feels like delight in the pain. If the liver hurts, so he wants it to hurt more. Okay, so we already start like that. It's oh my god, the first paragraph is so like remarkable. Like it's so oh my god. Okay, so we follow a narrative of this guy. Okay, the book's like divided into two parts. The first part's like he's saying like his thoughts, his ideas, how he viewed the world, and the second part is like how he became who he is. Like right now, what led to him being like this underground man. He doesn't have a name. Okay, so we're gonna call him the underground man, or he. Just well, yeah, this one is easier, and it's awesome. Okay, have I said that it's awesome? Okay, the part two is about the story, how he became the man, and oh, really cool. It's like a little romance. It's like easier to read the second part, which is really fast to read the second part. The first part we see a lot of train of thoughts, like his conscious flow and how he view things, like and he's like speaking to an audience. I mean, he speaks in a way that he's speaking in an audience. Okay, so sometimes he gives an argument, and he also gives the counter argument that like we might say to him, and he's like, okay, you guys might say that, and to that I respond that. So it's really interesting. It's like arguing, debating, and like having all these people, the readers, talking to him, and he like arguing against us. So it's really really really, really nice. Okay. So okay, this is an awful guy. He feels superior to everyone. He feels like he's an intelligent man. He gives up everything because he just doesn't acknowledge meaning in anything he does. That's like one of the main points of the book, at least that I got. He likes to cause pain. He doesn't want to feel real things, and he's a really complicated, paradoxical character. Okay, let's start. Okay, in the first part of the book, we start with he's explaining how. Let me see. Okay, yeah, this part is so fucking cool. Is he saying that he feels delight in pain, in the liver pain, and he starts talking about toothache. Also, he compares it to like a guy with toothache. In what way? Okay. See, he says that he feels delight in pain, just like a guy with toothache feels delight in like moaning. Moaning. Moaning, yes, right. Moaning like louder than he needs to, just to be heard. When someone is in pain and he's like making more noises than they want to, they know they could do less, but just because they are in pain, they just want to scream, and like there's no end to this. They can't fix him, but he still wants to scream. And he makes like this comparison, and he goes explaining why he feels delight in doing bad things and being the bad way, like not following what everyone follows. One of these points is because he's superior, and the other point, which is a really nice quote of the book, is because he feels like even if he's so awful, he's so broken, that he feels like even if he had time in time, he could go back, change stuff. He had time and money, he had everything. Even if he had everything, he wouldn't be someone else because he just doesn't have someone to be. He doesn't. So what I got from this part is that he has no meaning. The problem of that is because he has no meaning. You could give him like all the woman, all the money, all the shit in the world. He would still be shit because he's shit beside his shit. So it doesn't matter if you give all the shit to him because he knows his shit. He has nothing to transform to. He's not willing to transform to anything. And he goes on a part in this first part of the book, he goes on a part talking about revenge, how normal people would seek revenge about when someone hurts him, and saying that like revenge is like their way of seeking justice, which meaning. So like, oh, why are you like being you're seeking revenge? Because I see justice in that, so there's a meaning. He said that he's not like that. He doesn't see meaning in justice because at the end nothing matters, because he said he's a rat inside of a fucking disgusting place. He's like surrounded by dog shit, and when he puts like revenge, the anger, it just goes there and stays surrounding him more and making the pile like bigger, and he's like just like suffocated, and he knows, like, even if he takes revenge, he knows he suffered way more than the guy he's gonna take revenge against. So the best outcome, the best way he can handle the situation is just by ignoring it. And if he acted in revenge, wouldn't be by justice or anything else. Would be only by malice, only by evil. He would do such a thing, because there's no meaning. And also malice, he acknowledged that it's no meaning also. It's no meaning also. When he dies, when the chemic expires out of his brain, when his biological time he dies, malice doesn't exist anymore. So he loses that, and then he correlates that to the comparison of the two fake guys. At the end of the day, he's just gonna scream in pain. He's just lost in some place, and he's gonna keep screaming because everything's shit. He can't control shit, and it hurts. And so he hurts more. He feels delight in that. At some way, some distorted thing in his mind makes him feel delight in this awful scenario where he's surrounded by snakes, and he, oh my god, that's how his mind views these things, he makes himself, like, people would see like some stuff that they make them stop, like as walls of like nature walls, but him somehow would make, like, based on his viewpoints, he would make him believe that he built this wall. His mind built this wall, and that it was his fault that this wall was there. So he would like feel awful about him. He would feel like anger towards him. So like everything leads to more pain. Pain leads to more pain, and somehow he felt a little delight in all of that. Okay. Was there because of him? Sorry, I'm just reading a little bit just to see what I have to talk anymore. Can a man respect himself? How? Even if even his humiliation, he feel even if oh my god, if even in his humiliation he feels delight, he concludes that the result is meaningless. People engage in actions that are mere secondary cases and not actually important ones. The and the response to a important action would be to cross your arm and just like not act, because you can act towards the world. You can change anything because nothing has meaning. Nothing actually does anything. And he also acknowledged that he wasn't. This is one of the first places too, that he isn't evil. He isn't someone evil. He can't even be that. He would want to be evil. He would want to be someone, something. To be lazy at some point, he says, "I want to be lazy, but I know I'm not." To be lazy is like something to be proud of. At least I'm a something. He feels like he's not anything. He's not even evil. He's just zero. He's not even zero. Not even numbers. It's just like nothing. That's what he feels about himself. And I feel like this whole part, I think this is like the first big thought that he encapsulates to us. I think this is a firm defense in how we can view a mind of someone who firmly believes in a thing that we would later call nihilism. Okay? So then he goes on a rant against utopianism and positivism. This is one of the best rants I've ever seen about that. That he goes about the piano key ones. That was the most popular things and quotes of the book. He says the men's are not predictable, and he goes like the, as I said, we are like arguing with him. The reader is like arguing with the guy, and it's like the the reader is like saying to him, oh no, if we could predict nature and with math and science, when we can like predict everything, like do the perfect government, do the perfect like medicine, do the perfect everything, no man would cause pain to himself, no man would choose a way that's not good for him, no man would do anything, like we would be predictable, we would be simple as that, we would be happy. He says no, that's not how things are, that's not meaning, because men are not piano keys. We won't do anything. You could put the man in the best situation possible. He would still cause harm. He would still cause wars. If you put men like look at the history. He says the history. You could say a lot of things about the history, but it's not. It is not peace at all. You could put them in the best situation. Like we see the 20th century. We see we got in a relative good place at the second half. I mean, the whole okay. Let's look at the whole century. We were growing. We were in a good place, and still there were wars. You can give everything to a man, and there will be a quote that we later gonna say, the bubbles one. You can drown a man in happiness, and he would still find a way to complain, to regret, and that's not a bad thing at all. That what makes humans humans and not robots. We aren't something predictable. We gonna do things. We're gonna desire things that are out of the book, that are out of expected things to be desired. We will do that. Okay, we will critic. We will cause chaos, and he explains that's because we are actually afraid of reaching the goal. Like when we are looking like towards doing something good, and if we achieve it, we lose it. We can't achieve something good. If we achieve, what else to look for? We have to cause chaos to ensure it's not achieved. It's like human nature, that shit. And that's what he defends. And it's so beautiful. Like the way he explains that, and he's so like passionate at explaining that. And it is so beautiful to read. It's such a breathtaking reading moment. I don't know. It's so good, though. It's really good. This is one of the best parts of the book. That the one that he completely breaks utopianism and everything. Let me see if I forgot to say anything. He goes in the rate. Well, he goes like in this rate. He goes talking about like 2 times 2 and he's like, okay, 2 times 2, it is 4. We know it's 4, but sometimes it is good for it to be 5, and it's so true, dude. It's so true. We can't expect science to fix everything. We can't expect it. Okay. Okay, these are like the main events of the first part of the book. Let me just give it a pretty little look, just to see if I forgot anything. Oh, that's a really nice quote. Before the men saw injustice and in massacre. Oh, sorry. I read it like all wrong. So before, like in the past times, we saw carnificine and murdering as justice. We were doing that for justice. Now we are intelligent and we see stuff. We know it is not justice. It's not good to do that stuff, but we still do it. We know it's bad to kill people, and we still kill people. You know, that's what he's talking about. Okay, I'll read the quotes, I guess, because that's. Oh my god, this is such a nice quote, dude. This is such a nice quote. He goes, oh my god, okay, this part's so cool. Okay, yeah, but that's basically the first part of the book. Let me read the quotes. Uh, what was the reason, the unbeatable reason that they believed that the desire of the man was to be sensate and to achieve things? maybe there's meaning also in suffering. Maybe suffering is what gives men meaning. Individuality is one thing. Okay, make a man draw. No, okay, give a man all the terrain spots, drown him with his head in happiness, as it was water, just to like see bubbles sparkling through the fuck. I don't know how to translate that in a beautiful way. Sorry, just like bubbles that surrounding the surface of the river, giving him all the money and economical benefits possible. So there's nothing else for him to do else than sleeping, eating cake, and just like reading. And even at that stage, the man would do something evil. He would do out of pure ingratitude just for being different. He would do something. If the man was a piano key, even if they proved based by math and arithmetics, by rules of physics, not even that, not even doing that, he would change his idea. He would curse the whole world, the whole world, and not only would he curse, he would find his objective by cursing, even if he needed to end the whole world to do that. He would at least convince himself that he's a person and not a piano key. I agree that 2 times 2 is 4 is an excellent thing. But sometimes, if we say 2 times 2 equals 5, can be something sometimes pretty cute. And that's the one about the palace. So there was like this thing in the book that talked about the crystal palace. There was like this utopian place that was perfect and shit. And then he goes with this quote: "See, gentlemen, if there's a palace and a, oh my god, I don't know the translation of that. Sorry, I'm so dumb. It's such a easy word. Chicken coop. It's like that chicken coop. Okay, whatever. Okay, so if there's a palace in a chicken coop and it starts to rain, I will enter the chicken coop to not get to not get wet. But even there, I wouldn't take the palace for gratitude, for having me protected by the rain. You guys would be asking and laughing hard, saying, "Oh, they are the same thing at this case." Yes, I answer, if we lived only to not get drowned, to not get wet. Sorry. Oh my god, I'm so bad at reading codes. I'm so bad at like instantaneous translation. I'm bad at that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But you got the idea that like if that was like a chicken coop in a palace, and he would still choose the chicken coop. Oh, why wouldn't choose the palace? Because we don't live only by one objective, not only to not get wet. There's things there's things before and after hours. So like there's more things. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so stuttering this episode. Okay. Okay, then we go to the second part of the story, which is also pretty cool. We see like three main events, kind of four, maybe three. I say like three main events that lead him to being who he is now. The first one, he said he talks a little bit about his childhood, how he hated the popular kid. He was not like someone popular. He just like he put everything in being intelligent, and he feels good about it. He feels ugly. His face is ugly, but he likes his face because it's a face of an intelligent man. So he puts everything in intelligence. And even if he's intelligent, he has no action. He feels like he shouldn't act. Like I said in the first part of the book, he explained that action has no meaning. So the right thing for a person, an intelligent person, to do is not to act. To be just like that. Also, I don't know if I said this in the first part of the book. He like worked in a place, but he just like he gave up working there. He like quit just when he got like a inheritance, like he was basically poor. I mean, not poor, but he was like he could like barely live. He could like live, get a guy, a butler, pay his foods, and maybe buy something here and there. but he was not really a rich guy. He was really kind of struggling a little bit, but he could live without having to work just because he wanted to. He didn't want to work. Um, and that the way he is. Okay, the first moment he could quit his job, he quit it, and that there's a part in the book, the first part, explaining that too, how Russians would do that. That part he takes to explain that. Okay, so okay, the first story we're gonna see him is about when he was in the street. He was walking and he saw like someone in a drinking place. Oh, fuck, I'm so bad at names. A bar is bar English too? Yeah, is bar. Yeah, but bar is English too, right? Yeah, yeah. In a bar, they were like drinking and like playing pool, and the guy did something wrong to the guy got angry about this random guy, and they like pushed him and spanked him. You know, like they really were terrible to him, and he saw that with envy. He was like, oh my god, I want this to happen. I want to people feel something towards me. I want to be known. I want people, even if it is to be angry at me, I want people to be angry at me, to see me. You know, I want to be seen. So even if he doesn't acknowledge that, he's a really paradoxical character. He says a lot of things like he doesn't want to be seen, but he doesn't care to be seen. And a lot of times you're gonna see that, like he's saying, "Oh, I." He like really cares about what people think, but he says he doesn't care. He says, "Oh, I don't give a fuck what I think about me. I don't give a fuck. I'm happy in my own." But he's a really paradoxical character in this way, like always, basically. So okay, so he saw this guy getting spanked in the bar, and he like, oh my god, I want that to have to be. So I go there and like he starts blocking an entrance. Okay, he goes there and he's like half blocking the entrance, and an officer passes by and like bumps him, and the officer doesn't even care. Like he doesn't even look at him. He just like passes like nothing happened. The guy just completely goes on with his life. He got the main character, like the underground man, got so fucking mad at that. Like he even said, okay, if the guy spanked me, he punched me to the face, I wouldn't be mad at him. But by the fact that he ignored me made me feel so angry. Like the character, he also saw everything as a power relations. So he also saw everything like even love, which will go in a later stage. He saw everything being someone dominating and someone being dominated. So he felt so inferior by the guy not even looking at him. He felt two things: first, being inferior and just hurt his ego, and the second one, no one gives a fuck about him. No one cares about him, and he wanted to be seen. Okay, so his ego was so hurt. He starts stalking the guy for months. He starts like walking with the guy in the streets. The guy doesn't even see him. Kind of, the guy doesn't even know he exists. You know, he even at some point like considers doing like a card to him, like saying how awful of a person he is, like challenging him for a duel. And every time he goes in the street to walk towards him, you know, there's like a complete stalker of this guy's life. And the narrator also going to rant saying about superiority things, how people like officer and people like that feel superior to others, and he feels like this is not nice, but and he feels like he should be like he's smarter, he should be like, you know, respected, even though he's like a team guy, and the officer's like big and muscular. And every time he was like in the streets talking and happened to pass by this guy, he would all the times, without him like controlling, he would cede space for him to pass. He would like go right for the guy to pass a little bit, you know? Just like the things we do. And he felt so awful about that. And one time he had the thought, okay, I will bump into him in purpose and I will continue going in front. And then we go and okay, he does so much preparations and he does a lot of shit. And when it comes really close to the point, he almost gave up. But then he goes and he bumps him, and the guy doesn't even look at him. The guy doesn't even see it. But he's like, oh, I know he saw it. And that's a victory. You know? So that's the first main story. He's also a coward. Okay, in a lot of sense, we're gonna see even more senses about that. But he at the slightest inconvenience, he would give up about things, and he would take like small fucking things to feel like victory. So he felt like victory about the officer. The officer didn't even see it. He was like just like bumped into him, and he was like so, oh my god, he was like so happy about that. Okay, the second story he goes. Oh my god, how long is this video? Okay, it's half an hour already. Oh my god. Okay, I'll speed things up. The second story is when he goes to. Uh, Let me just see if I forgot to say something. Uh, okay, he goes to a house of a friend because he feels solitude. As I said, he's paradoxical. Even though he wanted to be alone, at that time he wanted to go there. So he goes there. People don't quite like him in the place, but he was like the only guy he was like a little bit familiar with. He's not like a friend, but it's like a guy he talked to. And he goes there, and people are talking to do a party, to do like a celebrate party to a guy who was leaving, who was promoted. I don't quite recall. Okay, but about this guy, they were doing a party about him. That was the, as I said before, I think I mentioned, the popular guy at school. He's still popular. He's still doing pretty good. He's earning a lot of money for these folks. And the friends were there like planning a party, and he auto invites himself. He's like invites himself for there, and people are like, "Really, you're gonna go?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm gonna go." And he doesn't even have money to go. He has to get money somehow, and he gets it, and he feels like wanting to go, but he also hates the idea. He knows, oh my god, I shouldn't go. This is gonna be bad, but I'm gonna go anyway because he wants to make himself appear superior to the friends, And he wants to make them feel like what they had towards this guy, which name was Zarkov. They wanted them to feel that about him, They want them to see him like as this smart guy who should be respected, who should be praised, and all this shit. And then he went to the place. He arrives early. People didn't warn him that they would be like 1 hour late. They would like remark it for 1 hour later, and he went there. He got so excited. He thought about all these things, and he uses like, oh my god, it's such a scene, such a scene. And he goes there. He got money to go there, even if he didn't have it. I think he asked someone to get his money, even or to like to get his salary early, you know and he goes there, and it's awful. He like makes awful discussions with the guys. He challenges them to duels. He's like completely unrespectful. He says a lot of things about the popular guy, and it's not cool. He's not like, oh, I'd say about shit, but I'm like the cool, the right guy. He's dog shit. He just feels weird. He starts complaining about shit. People try to talk to him, but he's not really a guy that could be talked. And then at some point, the people go to a sofa, and he just like stays in another place, just like they know they're gonna see him, and they know, should I go home? No, I shouldn't, because I'm gonna annoy the fuck out of them. So I'm gonna stay here. I paid, so I'm gonna stay here walking in circles for hours while they talk. So he was like walking them for hours. Um. mm, uh, 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 um. Okay, then at the end, people they get like a little fight, and they go to a brothel. Okay, the other guys go to a brothel, and he doesn't have money. He has to ask a guy for money again. The guy like didn't want to give it firstly, but then he like he's so bad, and he like, oh, please, please, please give me money. The guy like throws money at him, and then he goes there. He's like late and shit. He got a horse, a guy with a horse, like a carriage. I don't fucking know. And he arrives there, and they are not there anymore. And he saw a girl, and there, oh my god, no, sorry, I forgot a really important story. When the guy throws his money, and everything like goes into his head, like he challenged people in a duel, and then he said sorry. He didn't want to challenge people anymore, and people weren't like apologetic to him. They were like, oh no, I wish to feel like you're a dog shit. You're not a cool person. And he's like, okay. Now he has all these feelings towards his mind. And he's like, I'm gonna slap Zverkov. I'm gonna slap the face of him. He's like so angry. He's like feeling a lot like doing that. But at the middle, we see a little confusion. He's like, should I really do it? Should I really do it? Which like he's like all the top of the mountain. I'm gonna fucking slap his shit. And then he's like, oh, should I? He's a little coward, as we see. But then he like convinces himself, okay, I'm gonna slap it. When he arrives there, there's no one there, and at that moment he feels happy because he doesn't need to slap anyone anymore. But as he said, I would definitely do it if he was there, which is not true. If the guy was there, he would know. No fucking way he would slap him. But he feels happy because he didn't have to slap the guy, and now he's there. So yeah, we got that, which a really nice moment. And then there he sees Lisa, a prostitute that was there, and that is the best story of the book. Okay, so like the out of the main three, I feel like this one the best one. So he sees Lisa, he goes there, he's a little annoyed, he sees her, and he fucks her. Like, so he's a prostitute, he fucks her, and they didn't speak a thing while they were fucking, while they were having sex. And then he goes in, he starts talking to her while she's there. He's like, I don't know why he feels compelled to do that, but he starts talking to her, like, why are you doing that? Why you're there? What happened to your parents? Why are you going in such a place? And he like starts speaking in a really romantic and feely way, like corny way. He's like thinking about romantic shit, and we don't really understand why he's speaking like that. Because at some point the narrator like says, "Oh my god, why I said something like that?" Like I felt disgust about what I was saying because he was saying like all this beautiful shit about having families, continue having baby, how having love, how love could fix anything, and she being there, she it would be hard to find love, it would be impossible in his opinion. But he was like pretty sweet and like just trying to say all this shit in like a literary way, like really literary way, like trying to put like really words here and there. He spoke like a book. And she saw that, and she said like in a little jokingly way that he speaks in a book form, and she was like a little shy in this moment also. She says he's speaking in a book form, a little jokingly way. He got mad at this shit. He got furious, and he was one of the most cruel discourses ever that I've ever read. At least, I mean, the second one he's gonna do is gonna be worse. But he does this one thing. She's a fucking slut, and she won't have life. She will die alone. No one will love her. If she fell in love with someone who she's like fucking, the guy would look at her and like laugh at her face because she has no value. She like sells the thing that is most precious to her, and that she sells like a basic component of her love. Like, why would someone seek to love her if she's already like giving all this shit? And he goes like an awful discuss about her, about how she will die and no one will recognize her. No one will die at her graveyard, and she will just like step away out of this world, and she says a lot of shit about her. And then he feels a little bad at the moment about that, and he's like, I don't know if he planned that beforehand. I don't think so. I think he was really speaking the pretty things because he wanted to, but an interpretation you could have like he was speaking these good things because he then wanted to broke her, like to make a little confiance, and then break it. But maybe he just got mad and he was like really wanting to speak like the before in that romantic way, and then he broke that. His offense, but the girl was like crying, losing her mind. And then after some time, he's like, okay, I'm gonna leave. And then she holds him. She didn't hug him, but she like shows affection. She like puts her head in his hand. And she starts crying, and she looks at him with a smile in her face and show him a letter she received, which was that a boy that didn't know her profession, a boy in a, if I'm not wrong, in a short, it was like in the present, a little before, but like in the present, a guy that didn't know she went to like being a slut and shit, and a prostitute, it's better to say, and the guy was really interested in her and kind of loved her, and he kind of shows that to him to make, okay, see, I was loved. People love me. She wanted to show that. She was like a kid showing that. It was so cute. He was so happy. And he was kind of an asshole about that because she showed that to him and he didn't like respond in a enthusiastic way. He was like, oh, okay, sure. and left, and like he said, okay, I should leave. But at the point that he was like, sorry, sorry for the things I said. He was like that. He gave her his address, which he later would regret. But he gave her his address and said, come visit me. And she said, I will. Okay, okay, I'm sorry. I know this is long. It's like 40 minutes long. I'm sorry. Okay, but a lot of shit to say. Later, he regrets everything that he's done. He regrets giving his address to Lisa. He feels a lot of shit about that. He does a card to the friends saying he's sorry for everything that happened. Puts money inside him, and then he's like, oh my god, Lisa's gonna come. Lisa's gonna come. Like passes some day that Lisa doesn't come, and he was like thinking Lisa's gonna come. He hates her, and then he likes her. He feels like passion and hate, but mainly hate towards her, and he feels shame and I'm stupid for saying dumb shit. But he also feels like a hero a little bit. And at some point he even fantasizes about like dreaming like about having a life with her as her love as she being his lover, and but he then goes, oh no, this shit is dog shit. And he feels disgust about thinking about that shit. It's like no shot. He like feels so bad about just thinking about that. And at some point, he has to pay his butler. The butler is kind of arrogant, and he is really arrogant. The butler just like started started acting weird because he wanted the money, but didn't say directly he wanted money. And the guy was like, every time you do this, you just ask for money because you do this shit. Even so, if you not come to me, basically on your knees and say you want the money, you want your salary, I won't give you to. So again, he's showing like power domination, how he wants to dominate someone. And the guy was like, not gonna do that. And the guy like a fight, and then bang, Lisa comes and see all the situation. He goes into his room. He's like really shy. He's like, oh my god. She saw me in this situation. And then he pays the guy, asks him to go get coffee, and starts talking to Lisa. There, he feels bad for Lisa being there, for Lisa being there, and even more because she saw him in such a situation, and he was like quiet, and Dan and Lisa were just like there, and they stopped. They were just like quiet, and he didn't want to say anything. At some time, he like felt so much anger inside him about Apollon. Apollon was the name of the butler. That he starts crying. He said, "Oh my god, I'm gonna kill him! I'm gonna kill him!" And he starts crying in front of her. And she was like really worried about him. And this moment he didn't like the feeling because he felt like he was being the dominated guy. He was like being inferior to her. She saw him in a moment of vulnerability that was like in a bad moment. He saw his house that is poor. He saw him fighting with the guy, which is not a good thing to see. And now she's seeing him crying, and with all the things that happened before, he puts everything together, and he feels so much anger towards her. He feels so much anger, and all that culminates with in him doing with all this anger, he said, okay, I'm gonna not say a word. I'm gonna just sit here. Okay. Okay. Then he goes to this place, leave a threatens to leave. She goes, okay, I'm gonna leave. It seems like I'm annoying you. And he goes then in the second, and they won the most cruel and sad rant discourse. I don't even know the word. It's just like an awful thing he said to her. He said to her, he didn't care about her, that he was not, he didn't even care about her. He was like just feeling bad because of other people. He says he was joking at her in behind. He was just like toying with her situation, and he didn't give a fuck about her. He knows her life's lost, that that he feels like a hero, and that now she saw him in a such bad moment that he's no hero anymore, and that she's such a bitch, and no one will love her, and she's so innocent for believing he would fix her, while he's such an awful, incredible bad creature. He says that he knows a bad creature, and he basically says that at no moment at all he felt empathy and anything towards her. Yes, he does that, but he's like crying doing all that, like crying and screaming. At some point, he even screams for her to go away, go away, don't stay here. And in an act of pure love, I would say, she, while hearing all of this bad shit, what she could only focus on, what she was really in her mind, was the fact that he was in pain. He saw that he was miserable. He saw that he was sad, and she, even though he was screaming at her, saying all this bad shit, she just hugged him and stayed there. At this moment, she was the hero. That was the problem. He felt good for some time. He even complained about people. He said like they don't allow me to be good. So again, he not wanting to acknowledge that he was the responsible for that. He goes to say that people were the ones that made him not good. So she's like hugging him, and his heart's like filled with passion towards her, but also hate was exploding. Why? Because she was now the hero. Now, it's not like more a situation of domination. She heard all this shit, and in an act of pure love, she saw that, and the only thing she was worried was that he was sad. So she was the hero now. And how's he gonna face with that? And he looks at her eyes, he holds her face, looks at her eyes, and he's filled with passion and hate at the same time. And then 15 minutes later, what could have happened in these 15 minutes? They had sex again. Okay, a quick sex, and he did something to her, because now he's like wandering in some place. The book doesn't explain what he did, but it was a bad thing, a cruel thing. We don't even know if he hurt her, if he said something to her. But we just know that she's there crying, and the author says she knows now that I would say the reason she's crying is she knows he's incapable of loving her. Even though she loves him, she understood by what he did that we didn't know what he did, what was this awful thing to her. She knows he's incapable of loving her. And okay, that's it. And then there's all this thing happening, and he's also in his head like feeling kind of shame, but he's like really annoyed. He stopped feeling the hate for a little bit, but he's like feeling annoyed that she's there, and he makes like he made kind of like signals to her to leave, and then she said, "Okay, I'll leave." And and the last act, one of the most disgusting parts of the book, as a last act, he goes there and as he says, "I don't know why I did this. It was out of pure malice, pure evil inside my heart." He didn't know why he did it. He felt regret and shame even while doing it, because he couldn't face her while he did it. He goes there, holds her hand, puts something inside, and turns back. He doesn't even look at her face. What did he give her? He gave her money. So to say that the sex they had was not about her job. It was sex because it was sex. It was not like that. He just said, basically at the end, "You're not but a bitch. You're not but a slut." And that was really, really awful. And he feels regret about that. But then later, he goes there, and Lisa leaves. Then he sees, throwing the ground, the note he gave her, the money, like scrambled apart, like tossed away in the ground. He says that, and he's like, "Oh my god, a girl like that, a girl that has everything has lost her. She doesn't have money. She doesn't have a place. Like she's in an awful situation. She still has ego and moral and respect about herself, and respect of herself to regret to throw away this money. You know, that was a really nice scene where we see that she felt that, and he felt, oh my god, how can she feel that? He feels envy about her again. Then he tries to go after her, but he doesn't find her. And then he tries to convince himself that that was for her good, that the bad thing he did might be for her good because it might make her overcome the situation that the thing she is. And yeah, this book ends here. It was amazing. He then says he doesn't want to talk the author said, because it's like a biography shit, a diary. He goes, I don't want to talk anymore. I'm done. And that's it. This book is amazing. Okay, the way we explore how the character feels, the how he concepts hate, how all the evil inside him makes sense. The whole story, the Lisa story, how he's cruel to Lisa. It's so me speaking like in this stuttery way, and even reading someone talking about it, reading someone explaining it, it's not the same as reading it. It's completely different. You guys should read this book. It's really small, and this Lisa part is really, 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 really nice. I mean, it gives pain. It's discomfortable. It's comfortable. It's like the characters 9 and 10 and 11, I guess, out of the part 2 of the book. And I'm gonna reread this for sure. There are things I lost for sure. There are concepts that I haven't spoken in this video for sure. A lot concepts I haven't spoken. I just like spoke the story a little bit and why I found it so interesting. You know, it was so nice. So nice. The Lisa part is one of the cruelest moments I ever said, ever seen. This book so talks about nihilism, utopianism, the critic, both in such a amazing novel way, in such a fictional, intelligent way. It's amazing. So just to end, let me see if I have some quotes. As this, he says that in the moment with Lisa, and at the last discourse, the angry discourse he does with Lisa, the world tale, the whole world fails, or don't I drink my tea? Huh? I prefer that the whole world collapses if that means I can still drink my tea. Lisa saw more than I ever think I thought she was capable of seeing. Out of all my speaks, out of all my screams, the only thing she deduced from all that is what only a woman that's feeling true love is capable of saying she's feeling. That I was unhappy. About that, he goes like again saying that he was not capable of loving someone anymore because again his power relationship, he sees like love as being dominated and not dominating, and he felt dominated by Lisa. She was the hero, he said, so he wasn't able to feel love to her. And at the end, he says, in respect of me, this like about the whole concept of the book. In person, I did not other thing in my life, if not take it to the extreme what you guys weren't capable of taking halfway through. Okay, so he took all these concepts that we suppress out of ourselves, the egoism, the arrogance, the nihilism, and he extrapolated that. And that's why he is who he is. That was the book. I don't know if this review was good. I mean, it was a little more readish way. I was more like reading and trying to explain. It's a little more complicated book. But really, really good book. You guys, as I said, should read it. Give it a try. Really good book. And that's it. Thank you guys. Bye bye.